Oh boy.
I think that looks good, man. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Welcome to another episode of Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. I am Troy Skinner. I am one of the hosts and
Antonio Dean,
co-host. And we are here tonight, thank God, with everything going on with this hurricane all over the southeast. A lot of people are dealing with a lot of drama with that. So far, all we've gotten where we're at, location undisclosed, is wind, strong wind, really good wind, yeah. Which is why you see me wearing a thermal and a hat at the moment. Not him doing a whole skin routine.
Well, look,
That's what makes our show Black different, man. We not bougie. Like, I mean, we do work like behind the scenes when we're doing shows. Antonio's very big on specific things, and I give him a lot of room to play because I firmly believe he was an artist. And for me, if anybody knows me, it's really tough to find people who can work on my level in regards to not just the artistry, but behind the scenes, the work. And he does the work. So that's why it works between us. And not only that, we're both martial arts, she said, and grooming, laughing out loud. That's right. I mean, that's what makes this show work. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I love the energy.
Do y'all remember 2 episodes ago, he was eating a full meal?
Hey, look, so you just brought that. I'm about to order from the same spot. I ain't even asked
tonight I'm going to be joining you because he hit me to that spot. I don't know if where you at what's called Slim Chickens.
Slim Chickens.
I don't know if you have a Slim Chickens. They need to show us some love and give us a sponsorship.
I'll take that sponsorship.
We would eat Slim Chickens every episode.
Slim Chickens donut hat, all of that shit. I'll do it.
So, as you can see, we're having a good time tonight. A lot of good things going on. Antonio has some friends come visit him, so that's always great.
Got in some good Bojuka training.
Last night was phenomenal.
Basics. I'm saying.
See,
but today that's what I was doing.
See, you pay attention to what I say. I said just show him.
Gave him the straight up basics, man. We had a 140 pounder in there slapping like a 400-pound man.
That's what's up. Good stuff. A long line of Bojuka students. I love it. Sir. I love it. So, the call-in number is 404-997-2188. Again, that's 404-997-2188. If you listen to us on Tuesdays and Thursdays here on Instagram, we thank you for that, but our YouTube right now is it's kind of suffering, but we would need some people to, go in and do some likes and to subscribe to us so that way we are constantly getting a strong algorithm on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And that way they'll start to make us official because right now we can't be official. Great energy and vibes. Well, you're making it great tonight. I'm happy you up in here tonight. And I see Miss Janessa just got in. For your information, Daphne is an amazing actor. You need to follow her.
And she just she had a show.
Yes, she just did Reservation Dogs, and she was phenomenal in it. Slapped the kid in the head and everything. I loved it. Because you know how I am. I don't put up with them little ragamuffins.
I do not play with kids.
Not at all.
I love kids, but I don't play with them.
Not at all. So, yes, please follow her. Daphne, what is it? Daphne?
Like M. Clark or...
No, she just got it as Daphne Clark. Daphne Clark. So DAFFANY Clark CLARK. And of course, Janessa, she's always in. Follow Janessa. Scott will probably be sliding up in here. Nomadic, nobody. All our regulars. Tay, she's in so far.
Yeah.
She's there?
Yep, we got Lady Muse.
Lady Muse. Hey, Lady Muse, I hope your audition went well. E-Money, the Green Eye Bandit, y'all follow his Snapchat. I heard it's on.
Add his Snapchat.
I heard it's on fire.
Hold on, let me find it real quick.
Hey, Janessa, I heard you got a Snapchat coming up too. So.
Yeah, hold on. I missed it. Come on. Am I blind?
Daphne's too bougie to do Snapchat.
Oh, man, I forgot I pinned the comment. Look, I'm getting old.
You pinned it? Okay. He pinned it, so you definitely want to follow...
add Eric's Snapchat at EVMBaller18 on Snapchat.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you want to do that. Before
EVMBaller18 At Snapchat.
Yeah, that's our boy, man. Yeah, Scott does debate us. He'll probably be in debating us. I don't know. He might be on our team tonight when we talk about the topic we're talking about.
Perhaps.
Okay. Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. So we need to, if you can, find that video of that guy. Can you find that?
Never know.
Yeah, the one. So all right. So as you know, Thursdays we pretty much talk about current events and just different things. Like I said, if you are on Instagram, we greatly appreciate any contributions and donations you can find in my link tree and also Antonio's link tree. And those link trees are listed in our bios. So that's it right there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah. So that is it.
Where's the video at? Oh, are they showing it?
Well, we're not probably going to be able to see the video, but we could probably turn the cameras to.
This is what it is, though.
That is what it is, man. That is what it is. Yeah. So anyway, listen, guys. First thing we want to address is, do y'all have a IG page for podcast? Yes, we do. Hey, Scott, welcome on in. We're just talking about you. It's not right if you're not here. Yes, it is. Our Instagram is CMCT_show.
Excuse me.
At Instagram, CMCT_show at Instagram. We're looking for a specific video because we're going to go really deep tonight. But before we do that, we are going to address what's going on in the news today. Of course, the big news is that Coolio died. Coolio, the hip-hop artist, passed away. They said of natural causes as of right now, but, you know, they always have time that comes out where things come out. Is that it?
Should be
that should be it there. Yeah.
Oh, they got the stupid ad on there.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll get it together.
Let it load.
Yeah, okay. And let's switch this real quick just for a second on the OBS to Coolio. All right, so, hey, what's going on, Scott? Peace to you, brother. We are acknowledging the passing of a very amazing and awesome artist, Coolio. Born and raised in Compton, if I'm correct.
Got a huge impact in hip-hop.
Yeah, let's go and get some information on him so that way we have all of this stuff on it. It says Coolio was working on a song with Irish singer Christy Dingham before he died. Said it was probably going to be a banger. Anything you did was a banger. Coolio's Gangsta Paradise rapper dies at 59. So he's 59 years old. He was known for the hits Gangsta's Paradise, Fantastic Voyage, and amongst other things.
And he crossed barriers.
He crossed a lot of barriers. Listen, I have a story that I want to tell. First off, I got to meet him at Delius Kennedy, who was a acting student of ours from the BTAW acting class. Delius has a show. You can actually see some of the performances on YouTube, and it is called Flashback. It's called Flashback. And it's basically dealing with artists of the 80s and the early 90s, because that was one of his favorite times. So he had some very good performances. And I was always fortunate. I know, Daphne, you went there with me once or twice, but we were always fortunate at the BTAW to be a part of that and to be able to enjoy that situation. Where we got to see live performances of those different artists. And Coolio was one of them. Yeah, rest in peace. He one of the things that I love about hip-hop artists or rappers in general are the ones that had amazing performances. If you ever get a chance to watch someone like LL Cool J live, make sure you watch him live. But when I saw Coolio was on stage with Delius and his band, and Delius is a house band, and they performed Gangsta's Paradise. You can watch it on YouTube, and it was awesome. I mean, let's see, that was 3 years ago? So he was 56 putting on a show, man.
Doing that,
jamming.
what was that, was that about the top of COVID?
Yeah, right before COVID happened. It was actually a year before it, if I'm correct. And a year to maybe 2 years, if I remember the performance. But Coolio, he rocked it, man. Everybody was there. He did a slowed down version of it, him and Delius, and it was live, and it was really, really cool. So shout out to Delius Kennedy. He's lost so much in the past 6 years, man. He was really good friends with Coolio, and Coolio was actually All For One's showmates. They performed on the same lineup, and so just first Delius has lost his mom, and then he lost Olivia Newton-John, and now Coolio. So Delius, we love you. So sorry about your loss, but most importantly to the world, Coolio was he didn't care, man.
He was a genuine creator.
Yeah,
from his heart, man. And talking about history made in hip hop. Number one, a lot of people have great songs, but I think having a record is one thing in hip hop, but when you have something that becomes like a cultural staple, for instance, Gangsta's Paradise. I mean, white people love that song. We're talking some of the whitest movies in the world.
Yeah,
have used that song on their soundtrack, and then also the jingle for Kenan and Kel show. Say what you want, but that jingle for that show definitely it made the show.
Yeah, he was a hard worker. He was very big on community and family. He had overcame drug addiction, and he was very open about that. He talked about that a lot. And, I remember when I first saw him, I think the first video I saw was Fantastic Voyage. Do you remember what the first video was you saw?
The first video of him as a kid? Because let's be clear, I'm only 28 years old. But actually the Gangsta's Paradise video, man.
Yeah.
Because my mom didn't like us watching like BET, MTV, not even MTV, but really the BMT, like raunchy videos and shit like that, and gangsters and all of that. So his was one of the first ones, and I actually seen it on MTV.
Yeah, Gangsta's Paradise was nominated for an Oscar. It didn't win. It should have won, in my opinion.
They're still using it to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was Dangerous Minds. The movie was Dangerous Minds. It starred Michelle Pfeiffer. And I went to the theater to see that. I never forget that movie. It was just funny to see, this milk bread white woman, and they're like, oh, it's based on a true story. And we're going to talk about that tonight because all these movies that come out that people say, oh, it's based on a true story. I went over that with The Women King, but it's just always funny to see these movies. They say, oh, based on a true story. And then when you watch some of these movies, it's total contrast to what you read up about. So it's important that if you watch and support these films, that you actually go and really watch research and find out more about the films that are based on a true story or true facts and stuff like that. But yeah, man, Coolio, he's going to be missed. He was still touring, even up to this day. He was still touring, and it's just so wild to see that. So yeah, his real name was Artis Leon Ivy Jr. I never knew that. I just knew Coolio. And when I met him, I said, "What's up, Coolio?"
On the show right now.
Yeah.
He just commented. He said, "Fantastic Voyage was one of his favorite slaps."
Oh yeah, yeah. And it says, as far as I know now, he was at a friend's house and was in his bathroom, and actually he had a heart attack. So, I'm hearing too much about these heart attacks. That's not natural. Having a heart attack is not a natural form of death. It's not. So yeah, that's how they found him. And he actually did win the Grammy. He wasn't just nominated. He won the Grammy for Gangsta's Paradise. I don't know why I thought that he didn't win. It might have been another song. But yeah, he won a Grammy, best solo rap performance of the year. With the hit, and won a Grammy for best solo rap performance the next year. Okay, the song was included on the soundtrack of Michelle Pfeiffer's Dangerous Minds. Yes, and then Coolio was also known for the including hits Fantastic Voyage. Now, this is the story that I wanted to tell. So,
okay,
we were, there was an artist I used to work with named Saran, who's a local artist in Augusta, Georgia, and we had a show. I think we were going to Hilton Head or something like that, and it was during spring break. And as we were driving, right on the other side of us pulls up this van of just white kids, right? I kid you not. They just like in bikinis or feet out the window. They pull up and they're screaming at the top of their lungs a song, right?
Oh, come on.
So we're like, okay, what are they listening to? So we turned down the music to hear what they were screaming and rapping
Losing their minds over it.
And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, get your body on the floor. Everybody get up and get down. Everybody get up and get down. And they were so into this song.
Enjoying it more than we might.
Because that wasn't one of the hits that we really enjoyed. But they were so into that show, of that song. They were so into it. I was just like, God damn.
That's hilarious.
And the looks on their faces. And so once they pulled up, they saw us listening to them. They got into it even more. And they were out there just throwing up West Coast. And
that's funny.
That was my Coolio story. Other than having the opportunity to meet him and seeing him perform live, which, that in itself was awesome. That spring break with those white kids in that van, I will never forget that. If you were there with me in that van, Saran, or anybody that went and did the tour with us going to Hilton Head, call in and talk about that. If you want to talk about your thoughts about Coolio, you're welcome.
Definitely chime in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, you're right, Scott. He did it and was successful on many levels. Yeah. So God rest his soul for sure.
Definitely rest in peace.
Fantastic Voyage 1, 2, 3, 4. Something new, and See You When You Get There, among others. Overall, he had sold more than 17 million records. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, it does not.
Not in this industry.
Streaming,
people
aren't even pressing up albums really like that anymore.
True, but the artists aren't what they used to be. You see, because Coolio was a character in a sense, He was a character. When you saw him, you knew who he was.
That was the job once before, man, is, to create a larger-than-life entity for just to entertain people.
Yes, absolutely.
And just to even show your artistry overall.
Mm. He was also in a number of television shows and films, including Futurama, which I didn't know that, in which he voiced Kwanzaa Bot. That's funny. Kwanzaa Bot.
He put my nigga on Kwanzaa Bot.
I bet you that was a hilarious episode. I might have to look that up because I used to like Futurama. He also appeared in Robbery Homicide Division. That I knew. In Malcolm and Eddie. I didn't know that. Among other shows.
Malcolm and Eddie, he made appearances in a lot of the black sitcoms in the 90s.
Yeah, he would pop up and,
He was also one of the first rappers in the reality television era to have his own show.
Yes, sir. I remember that. Mm-hmm. He was a contestant, there you go, in Fear Factor in 2001. In 2009, the entertainer wrote Cooking with Coolio, which was also the title of a cooking show he starred in. Coolio was born in Monessen, Pennsylvania, and grew up in Compton, California. Rapper Ice Cube was among those mourning Coolio's death Wednesday. This is sad news. I witnessed firsthand this man's grind to the top of the industry. Rest in peace. So sad. I even told my mom, and because she's been noted to where if she's rapping a certain song, man, the song was big. Trust me,
it means something.
It meant something. My mom is pretty much the purveyor of that. When it comes to the older age. Moving on. Yeah.
I'm ordering the food real quick.
Okay, that's great. They're going to be envious.
Trust me, I'm definitely involved in this, but I got to get us some chicken strips real quick.
Yeah, and we're about to spin the cameras around so you guys can witness something if you hadn't already seen it on Instagram, because it's floating around on Instagram and it's floating around on TikTok, I think. This is a commercial going on right now. And you're not going to hear any sound, unfortunately, but we're going to talk about what's going on. Okay, so you can get an idea. Okay.
It's kind of bright. Can you hit there you go.
Okay, so basically what's going on is this guy is a service guy, and he's going around to different doors. And see, this was a home. It's important to have a Ring or a Vivint so you can capture stupid stuff that happens like this.
For sure.
Okay?
I agree with that.
So this guy, in all his brilliance.
That's one word.
In all his brilliance, goes up to this door of a family. He doesn't know who lives there or anything like that. Okay. And got it.
I had to flip this around.
This is what hunger does. You see, hunger does that. This is he gonna eat that Slim Chickens, yo. I'm telling you, it's bomb.
They seen me last. They was already over here laughing in the comments. Yeah. Of course, I was staring that shit. You know what I mean? All right, we should be good.
Got it? Okay. All right. So this guy, he rings this doorbell here, and obviously they pick. Now look at the irony of it. Look who they pick to tell the story.
Of course. Is that irony or is that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, propaganda. You have to be knowledge of this kind of stuff. This stuff is
it's
very
in your
out
face
there.
for a reason.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Are we gonna have sound on that?
No. So that's what I was saying. It's like
I don't want to mess with that.
Man, well, whenever the road look at this, and then they
it was black reporter.
Yeah, come on. So what happens if you don't know anything about this? Okay, is this guy goes up to this door? And they're showing the video. Oh, I guess this was the guy that he said it to. So this guy goes up to the door, he rings the bell, and then the black guy comes out. The brother comes out, right? And this guy starts to say, I don't know why they blanked him out, because we see who he is in the other videos.
Yeah, well, remember how hard it was to find that just now.
That's true.
They're probably already scrubbing the internet a bit of that.
If you've seen this video, please chime in and let us know your thoughts of it. But basically,
if you have a link to the actual video, go ahead and inbox it.
Yes, absolutely. That will help. But this guy, basically what happens is the black guy comes out, and what I noticed was how far back he stood too. That was a sign, because physical will tell you a lot about mental. Mm-hmm. And so this guy steps back and he goes, "Oh, we're just checking around the neighborhood. No, we're just checking around, talking to the different neighbors." And I guess this is the guy that he said it to. It's like
my man had to go put on the sunglasses.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna let the eyeglasses make everybody know that I'm astute. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your typical nigga. Don't get it twisted. So he says that to him, and it's just so funny to see that they use all these black newscasters too. He says that to him, and after he says it, he walks back in. This guy walks back into the house, right? See, he shook his hand and everything, right? And this is when he tells him, we're just going around talking to the neighbors.
And he said, let's be very clear about it. Yeah. He said niggers.
Yeah. He didn't say niggas. He said niggers. Yeah, you want to go again?
We'll run it one more time. We still got people coming in.
Yeah. So that's what happens. This guy goes, he rings this guy's doorbell.
You know what I'm proud of? At least, because usually on television, black people or black men don't really have good haircuts. Mm-hmm. This is one of those things of mine. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to think about that. But this young man has a great haircut, and I'm very happy to see that, because I really do not like when they put any black person on TV and don't have their hair put together.
Right, not repping. Mm-hmm. But you know why? Look, you can tell as well. Look at the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think he expected a black guy to come out of
Probably not.
And so in his mind, that unconscious thought process, mm-hmm. right, subconscious thought, he's thinking, oh, it's a nigger. So he's like, we're just going around.
And it probably really came out, because I do that a lot. When I'm thinking about something and maybe I'm texting somebody and maybe I'm like washing my hands, and if I'll say something about washing hands while I'm actually thinking of texting them something else. So that was probably a subconscious thought for him, and it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very affluent neighborhood, it looks like.
Yeah, that's why. And so, with that being said,
I was shocked. He's like, wow, niggas live here?
Yeah, right. And so we just going around, we're talking to the niggas, the neighbors.
You feel me?
The wild thing about it is after that happens, this guy here goes right here and realizes, it's at that moment he realized he fucked up. He realized that his job was over. He realized that it was, I don't know if he realized it was on camera. And let me ask you a question, because you saw the video. Do you think that was remorse that he was feeling, or
you know what?
Awkwardness?
Because I had something similar that happened to me in the military. I'll tell that story in a minute. But I think it's just one of those situations where you get called out, and then now it's like, oh, shit, what do I do? So now they have to retract everything and, try to show some sort of sorrow. But man, look, if that was in his subconscious, that means that's really what he thought.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. So the topic we're going to be talking about for the next 30 to 40 minutes is racism. Racism. We'll be talking about the word nigga, okay? As some people call it, the N-word. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to the black culture? What does it mean to the white culture? You know what I mean? Like, do just because they buy a rap song that has the word in it, should they have the right to say the word? Mm-hmm. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that? So, okay, let's start with you. All right?
Start with me.
Okay. What do you feel about the word?
I think that the word is a bit of a descriptor, right? A badge even that really defines not even a culture, but a reality for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. And why I say a lot of us, I'll get into eventually, because we're going to be talking about this. But for a lot of us, we're talking about a history of genocide and, beratement, disrespect on many different levels.
Based on that word?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that word I'm saying is the descriptor of that. It is the badge of that.
Okay.
And in many different ways, it has been, or in many different ways, America has attempted to rebrand it, make it a cultural device, anything to take it away from what its roots are. And it's one of the only things that is truly ours, in a sense. And when I say ours, of course, I mean black people.
So to add to that, are we as a culture guilty for taking the word and keeping it alive? Because there is a difference between nigger and nigga.
Of course.
Right?
Well, not really.
Okay.
Not historically.
Right. No, I know that. Yeah, but I'm just saying
that was a regional regional thing as far as the accents and how they enunciated the word. And nigga was just kind of the end result, right? So I believe, and this is something that one of the conclusions that I came to, I believe that it's one of those things that, because it resonates with all of us, it has some sort of power, or a majority of us. I won't say all of us, but a majority of us. It has some sense of power, right? Some sense of glue in the community, right? When you have something like just a word that you can say, and I don't want to romanticize this, but a lot of us are going to turn our heads and look. So there's some sort of power in that, and I'm saying this because I believe that that's why we had the entire Huckleberry Finn you know, controversy, and many other controversies where they attempt to immobilize the word in a sense and make it something that's so negative that even we can't say it and we can't use it amongst ourselves. And that means something.
So I punched the word in online. Okay, I got two different type of definitions, right? Now, I was taught, okay. that the word nigger, Nigger, meant lazy, shiftless, right? Originally. That doesn't come up anymore for it. It basically comes up as a contemptuous term for a black or dark-skinned person. Wow, the fact that they say dark-skinned. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so we got people chiming in already. They're going in. Okay, racism is live and kicking.
I'm going to pull that up.
Do they have the right to say the word? No. Out of respect, no. They do not have the right to use it.
At all.
If you're using the word and aren't African American, you're a
usurper of some sort. that's the word I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
Really quick, I'm just looking something up.
Yeah, no. But it's odd that if you look up the word, now it's defined as a derogatory term towards a black person, whereas really the true definition of it is a lazy or shiftless person, which is why they would use it against black people back during the time that they used it. Oh, I remember this video. Yeah.
So we're right there, right?
You can get rid of that.
Okay.
That's the guy.
Oh, yeah, you were on the definition.
Yeah.
All right.
So again, when you punch it up, it just says a contemptuous term for a black or dark-skinned person. And that's wild that it's specific to dark skin. Look at the colorism that implies. And then he doesn't like it, but I like going to the Urban Dictionary because...
Well, anybody... Literally anybody can get on Urban Dictionary and put where they believe that the origin of a word is from and the meaning and all that.
Yeah. And so it says, for the Urban Dictionary, go back to the front page, it says, a slang term used to describe American blacks, but somehow everyone... You see that?
That's crazy.
Somehow everyone was gaslighted into accepting that the race intended to be insulted by it is also the only ones who can say it. Wow.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Who wrote that? See,
who knows? I don't know who runs the Urban Dictionary.
This is why you not fuck with Urban Dictionary. That was some shit that a white person would say.
Yeah. The app is wilding. The app is wilding out. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's get back to the understanding of the difference between nigga and nigger.
Okay.
Like, so you got that video of that. The white man says it, right? He's the teacher. Nigger and nigga. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen this video, but this is an old video of this guy.
I forget what his name is, but he's a teacher, and I think they were in Wisconsin or some shit like that.
Yeah, some
Delaware maybe.
Backwater, right? And
the Boondocks did a parody of this.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you've seen this before, you've seen it, and how he defended himself by saying
he did his best to defend it.
He's just basically saying the difference between nigga, N-I-G-G-A, and nigger, N-I-G-G-E-R. Is there a difference? That's my question.
Well, so let's talk about why because this is, I believe that there's always some sort of reason. They always have a reason why they think that they can, right? Mm-hmm. So for him to do this shit on the news is hysterical. But in the classroom, basically what happened was I think he needed for some reason, there was no pencils in the classroom or some shit like that. And
he told the kid.
For whatever reason, he needed to borrow one or some shit.
Yeah, he told this kid.
And he's like, can a nigga borrow a pencil?
Yeah.
Or some
hey, my nigga, can I?
He asked the kid, can a nigga borrow a pencil? Something to that effect. And he gets on the news, because obviously, this blows up, and it should have. He gets on the news, and he has diagrams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He done made a PowerPoint damn near.
He's basically saying
he going over nigger metrics and all kind of stupid shit.
They're completely two different words. Yeah. In his mind, he was saying, I didn't say this one. I said this one, because this is what the kids say.
I was about to say, so on to how he justified that. Because that's how the kids were talking to him, which, there's a part of me that thinks that's hysterical. But then also, where do you find it in you to say, oh, well, this must actually be okay for me finally? I believe that's always, there's a race to end racism here in America. And it doesn't end because we all start adopting one another's behaviors and, terminology and shit like that. It's silly as hell that they think that they can somehow overnight, well, we're not racist anymore because actually we all say nigga. Some shit like that.
Okay, so with that being said, would you have given him a pass?
No. As a child, like as one of his students or as an adult there?
We don't know who he was as a person, so the kids know him because they were with him every day.
Right.
Obviously, it offended one of the kids because he went to the school board and mentioned it, and his parents mentioned it. So, would you want him to get in trouble if he's your student, if you're his student, or if you're the parent of a student that he was teaching and that happened?
Well, so in a day and age like this...
Would you want him to lose his job?
So that's what I'm about to get at. So in a day and age like this... Are we going to keep it on there? Yeah, we'll flip it back around. But in a day and age like this where everything is, hypersensitive and no one can say or do anything or even have nearly, really their own personal opinion about anything. In an instance like this, I believe that you don't necessarily have to be sensitive to the reality of it, but I think that you should be cognizant of it, at least in a manner where you're not on Front Street with children and not really filtering your public behavior in any fashion. And I believe that he completely stepped over the line in that manner, man. And, especially in front of children.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of times people don't realize that everybody responds differently to that word. Let me ask you a question. If someone calls you that, right? And, maybe they don't know better in a sense. Maybe they're like, oh, I don't know better. I'm around my boys and they don't have a problem with me saying it. And they end up calling you that. You know what I'm saying? Is that fighting words for you?
It always has been.
Okay.
Always has been. Since I was a kid.
Okay.
At every grade school level, elementary, middle school, and high school, I've had bouts with students, never from a teacher, but with students. Actually, there was one time, I believe, when I was in first grade, but I had to ask my mom for clarification on what happened there, because I don't fucking remember, obviously. But, yeah, every grade school level, 100%. And it was never a question for me. Now, also, to be fair, and I'll this will be a recurring thing that I bring up, but I was raised in Northern California, man. More specifically between East Oakland and North Richmond, and my family being extremely pro-black. Some were actually Black Panthers, during their run. Something like this was never a question for me, and I don't believe that it has anything to do, like acting on it. I don't believe it has anything to do with social behavior or affecting our collective image. This is one of those things where if it's something that you stand on, you have to really stand on it. Because we as a culture need some sense of community, which means that we have to protect our culture and our community. And you have to mean it. I don't believe there are many in-betweens at all. You know.
So you don't have a problem with
I will fuck.
people?
I
No.
will-
I'm not
okay,
talking
I'm about to
that.
say I will fuck with it.
I'm talking about black people in general because I know for years I've gone back and forth with how I feel about the word.
Yeah.
If someone calls that to me, primarily because of what I know I can do, more than likely I'm just gonna let it go because it's too easy to hurt people, first off. But second off, I've gotten to a point where words don't affect me. And maybe one time it did because, see, I've had the gift of being able to live in New York, born and raised, and there was racism there, and
Of course.
it was just overt. You know, I'm sorry, covert. And then growing up in the South for 11 to 12 years, and then living in California. And so racism is different in every place.
Every region.
Every
Yeah, for
region
sure.
is different. Here in the South, it's straight in your face. You
Very
know what I mean?
overt.
Very overt. In California, to me, it was a little bit more side-eye type stuff.
It is very passive.
Yeah, but it's
Very
there.
passive.
But
it's there. Yeah, no mistake about it. It's there, but it's very passive.
Yeah. So with that being said, now you're seeing when people are fighting, because that's another time when you're seeing the word being thrown around by all different. I've seen Asian fights where
They talking Asian and Asian and an Asian.
Yeah, and then and they're fighting and they're calling each other
Bitch ass
nigga.
nigga.
Yeah. Okay, so look, I always believe, listen, I love music, I love rap, but I always believed when I was hearing it in those songs, I was like, this is gonna be a problem. Because there was a point where rap and hip hop was primarily for the black community. And once it became a popular thing, and mind you, look, at the time that it became popular, you're talking about Fat Boys and you know, Heavy D and stuff. They didn't say that in that music. It wasn't until around NWA and the gangster rap movement where the word was there and people were saying it effortlessly. I remember my brothers when they were starting to listen to Live Crew and NWA. I wasn't really big on them, but I'm like, man, they saying everything. They're not, holding themselves back from anything. But I always knew, just with every song that I would hear, when, you would hear rappers just say the word effortlessly, and then they're doing these concerts with, hundreds of thousands of people. That ain't all just black people. It's white people, Asian, Latin. I knew it would be a problem
It was gonna be it's just the song, that thing.
And I knew that no, it doesn't just end at that, because one of the things that change your mind, change your thinking that we always talk about is how media affects us, and that's the thing of, like, you take in and you digest it, it's going to be what you spew out. And so when I'm watching these fights now and I'm seeing white people call each other nigga, it's funny, but at the same time, it's very dismaying.
It's very, it'll imbalance you a bit. If it's something that you take serious, it will.
Yeah, because now that the word has life, right? And at one point when we was just saying, yo, my nigga, what's going on, nigga, what's going on? Now it's nigger, and they're saying it. And listen, guys, stop blaming everything on Trump. Stop it.
It has nothing to do
Stop
with
blaming
that,
everything on Trump. Because,
we're talking about over 200 years.
Yeah, and some of these people that are saying this in the news, like, okay, look at this here, right? I don't know if you've seen this, but check it out. This was comedy to me. This was comedy. This right here is comedy. If you've seen this is worth multiple watches. So basically, you have a black couple at an Applebee's, and it doesn't even look like an Applebee's at first, but I thought it was a different. But this is in South Carolina, and he gets into it with this other guy here, and basically, they have a disagreement, and this man felt he had the justification to call that black man a nigga. So this is what happens. Bap! Bap!
The shit out of that white boy.
I mean, just slapped him into submission.
You know what I mean?
Slap.
He said something too, didn't he?
Slap. He said, say it again.
Yeah.
And he kept saying it. And the people are doing their best to to stop him from saying it, but he keeps.
He was fully loaded for every single time. You gonna keep saying it.
So he went in and kept giving him some more. You see, over and over again. And now his hat. This is the magic right here. The hat comes off, right?
he put him
that
through the
last
bar
one took him down. Watch what he does with the hat. Watch this. They even zoomed in on this to show you. Tell me that in old school black.
You know what I mean? he knew he was making a statement in that moment. Nigga, I gotta let you know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah. And this man, so basically, I gotta see this part one more time because this is magic. You to be so angry and still you pick up this hat. Tell me he didn't have an old granddaddy or somebody that taught him that they should never say that out their mouth. Okay? So you're adding fuel to the fire if you have friends of different ethnicities that you allow to say that word. For me, it was only in acting. And you had to be playing a specific role that would allow you to say that. You couldn't just be talking.
One like Leonardo DiCaprio, nigga, where you end up getting shot at some point.
Django or 12 Years a Slave or something like that where it was warranted.
At some point, you're going to get your comeuppance in that program.
Yeah. If you're an actor, you and I made sure my actors that they knew. I had Brandon. Remember Brandon? Brandon was the one that chimed in on Tuesday. He always tells that story. But he would never say that. And in fact, it was a thing that bothered him to actually say it. Yeah. Because as an actor, I said you have to prepare yourself if you're going to play these roles.
Because they're coming, that's for sure.
But look that up on YouTube and watch that video for your enjoyment because I watched it several times. But my man flipped the hat. I said, yeah, he's old school. Somebody taught him.
Taught him right.
Yeah, because if you're in that emotional state and you got to be able to cool down and you flip that hat like that, you're somebody special. If you're watching us right now, CMCT at YouTube show, CMCT YouTube. And the calling number is 404-997-2188. 404-997-2188. You can also chime in here on Instagram if you have questions or comments, or if you want to be able to talk about the topic of what we're talking about. We're talking about the word nigga. And so if you have a problem with the word, hit us up and let us know you have a problem with the word and tell us the reason why. Let me ask you a question. Because I tend to believe a certain thought process about this, but I want to get your opinion and the audience's opinion.
Okay.
Are black people capable of being racist? No. Okay.
I've already had that. I've heard that question, so.
Okay.
We have prefixes and suffixes in the English language.
Mm-hmm.
IST.
Mm-hmm.
Ist. What does it mean to be a pianist?
A person that's capable at piano. Or
proficient.
Proficient, yeah.
A guitarist.
Same.
An artist.
Same.
And so forth.
Mm-hmm.
How can you be a racist?
So you have a problem with the word. You're not talking about
because I'm about to dig into it completely, but I want to break down the word itself.
Okay.
It's not even sensical as it applies to the language of the people it came from.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, to be racist, as they have defined it, and I'm speaking through action, not just the actual definition of the term. As they've defined it through their actions, where have black people had the opportunity to, en masse, apply any form of racism?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where? Can anybody answer that question?
Well, I see things a little differently, but I mean, I agree with you to an extent because in order to be able to have that higher level of racism and to understand what a racist is because they don't want to lose their position of power, right? Because
someone who has that sort of power to impose racist structure, racist behavior, and so forth. You have to be able to benefit from racism. Where do black people have that? Where are black people afforded that opportunity?
Well, I don't think we are as a collective. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen black people be racist to white people who I know personally. Well, it's a thing of basically not wanting to deal with them. And
that sounds like not segregation. What the fuck is the word? My brain.
No, yeah, take your time.
Prejudice.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask, all right? And we got people, I don't know what's going on my end. Oh, okay, class is what he had. Yeah, okay, yeah, he did have class.
Who we talking about, Coolio?
Coolio, yes. All right, but what are your people saying on your side of the world? Anything?
Well, we're agreeing with the ist argument.
Okay.
On the word, and then no chime in just yet.
Good. Okay, so I agree with you in regards to that. The problem that I have is, I guess we have to be able to trim down a true level of what the difference between racism is and prejudice is. Because I have been prejudiced in my time. I think I told you guys that last night.
I'm very prejudiced.
Yeah. Okay. And I think everyone has a level of prejudice in them, but
you have to. That involves or stems from any sort of discernment with anything in your life.
Because prejudice is a profound, direct, strong sense of belief in something, right? And I guess pertaining to a social class. In what we're talking about in far as prejudice.
Well, it's as it applies to race, sure.
Right.
But you can be prejudiced about anything in your life. It doesn't have to involve social class or race.
Right.
It's not a political term.
Right. Okay, so then where does ignorance fall into those classifications?
Ignorance in what fashion? In
either being a racist and or because we always say that people who are racist or prejudiced are ignorant because they are not because they follow the stereotypes of that culture or that social class and they don't know the truth. So in essence, like this, if a cop pulls over Malik or Tyrone, in his mind, he has an ignorance about who he thinks that person is because he judges the whole social class as, okay, these niggers, this is who they are. And he doesn't take that person as a singular person.
He's someone who lives by stereotypes.
Right.
Or if he doesn't live by stereotypes, he may live by that which he's seen in the media that's presented to him.
Well, usually that's most people because they either never grew up around black people or even if they went to college, they may have spent their high school formative years around other people of their skin color, but never ever had other people outside of their social surroundings. So my point in what I'm saying is if we look at these two words, what would that cop be? Would he be a racist, right, or would he be prejudiced? In your opinion,
he wouldn't necessarily be prejudiced just yet, because he is acknowledging or subscribes to a certain stereotype about this type of people. That doesn't necessarily make him racist. That actually may be all that he knows.
So you would just say he's ignorant?
Perhaps.
So you think that the words, in a sense, are overused and sometimes used incorrectly?
I would say ignorant and racist.
Are both overused?
Overused?
And used incorrectly.
The incorrect usage of many of today's buzzwords,
and that's what I was going to go to.
Are definitely overused.
Yeah, because it's
because we're not using. I you know me. I've already said on this show plenty of times. Will we be definitive here tonight, or will we be dealing with people's perception on these scenarios and these words.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no such thing as your definition.
Right.
There are definitions.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
definitive.
It.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And if we're not working with definitives, then okay, let's work with your viewpoint, your, how it is that you have interpreted this word.
So the question becomes, okay, so the question becomes this, right? So when we look at it, we say to ourselves, when people are using that word, are they using a form of racism towards somebody, or are they just being prejudiced? Because I don't believe I just believe that people are misinformed. Like I said, with those fight videos, when you see two Latin guys calling each other nigger, a lot of that comes from the exposure that they've had.
So I was gonna say, I don't believe that it's always some sort of malicious origin in using the word, especially in a scenario like you described. We're talking about, which I believe is extremely ironic. We live in the age of information, and the information that a majority of people are receiving here today is something that's been smeared, something that has been diluted quite a bit, which is our history. Everyone doesn't know today, and I say this because I have a lot of students under 20 years old, and the reality that they're living in, the story of slavery that I was told, that you were told, the history of our people here in America that we were told, it doesn't even exist. They genuinely do not know. Because they're being taught something completely different. So now we're talking about the washing of history, If they don't know, I'm not saying that this is an excuse, but we're looking at reasons and we're looking at factors and circumstances. Circumstantially, they genuinely don't know. Do I slap the shit out of, some Asian fool
for saying it,
who sees me in their country? Oh, my nigga, something like that. Right. No, I'm a very patient person. Would I take the time to sit and educate this person if they spoke enough of our language? Sure. I could even, if they don't understand, I'll just leave it alone and get away from that person. But then there's the scenario of here in America. I'm almost unwilling to believe that there is a person of Caucasian descent that doesn't have the slightest idea. I think we just hit the hour mark already? God damn, time is flying.
So this thing.
Sorry about that. Hey, look, I watch Roots once a year. I have the box set and all of that. All three, Queen, Roots, and Roots the Next Generation. But sorry about that. We're getting him back up on his side. But yeah, they genuinely just don't know, man. But here in America, is there a Caucasian person or a group of Caucasian people who are just completely oblivious to what it means to say that word to a black person? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unless they grew up completely without technology and they're in some hippie family or whatever, I highly doubt it.
Should they listen? Okay, so and this is where I think hip hop dropped the ball because a lot of cats made millions of dollars off of white people.
Yeah. Including them.
Right. Is it wrong? Is it wrong for them to be in the privacy of their own home? They rapping some Jay-Z and the word nigga come up. Do they have the right to say it in the privacy of their own home? Or are they supposed to edit that part out all the time? Look, I'll give you an example. Okay. I'm a Christian man. I love music. I still listen to secular music, which, judge me if you want. I don't give a damn. I love Prince. There are certain songs from certain rock artists, right?
Yeah.
Or even I'm looking for a specific song because that song. Oh, there's a George Michael song. I'll throw that out. There's a George Michael song that I know he talks about, he says, I'll do everything it takes. I'll even go to hell. And I'm like, I don't say that. I ain't going to say that. You know, that's me. I'm not putting that on me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, when it comes to that line, I go quiet. Like, I'll sing with it. It comes to that line, I act like that line didn't even exist. Because I understand the writer's magic. I understand that. When songs, and one day we'll have a show about that. But the writer's magic, a lot of these songs are chants and actual
spells of sorts.
Spells, yeah. Yes. And so, I mean, and I never had to do it, but I understand why they make people read the Book of Magic and all that stuff. So for me, it was a thing of like, I was always cognizant of certain songs. I just was like, I ain't saying that. You know what I mean? You know, AC/DC, you know, I'm not saying that, you know.
None of that bullet in the head bullshit.
No.
You know.
No. I mean, even you know, my mom's in the car. If there's a lot of cussing or something like that, my brother and I will switch songs. We know better.
Right.
You know, and it's not even just a thing of respect. She just doesn't want to hear it. And when you care about somebody, you make sure, you know, I'm not going to play that stuff. Sometimes when we were cleaning up inside the place, we had the speaker playing, it'd be my playlist. I listen to everything. Man, them songs would come on, it'd be explosive. Right. The dirty version, I'd go, you know. So is it wrong for them in the privacy of their own home or in their car to rap them songs? The concerts that they went and spent money for, the T-shirts, the sweatshirts, the hats, all of the support of Lil Wayne and Drake and you know, anybody popular now, you know, that said nigga, is it should they every time that word come up, you know, saying cancel out what they have to say about it, or should they just go ahead and rap the song and be more mindful around people of color that they don't say it?
Well, I believe there has to be a neutral ground there, because that comes down to integrity, and you can't really measure someone's integrity outside of your line of vision, right? So it would have to come down to be mindful, you know, be 100% mindful. Now, is that genuine? If that's something that you still want to do at home? Absolutely not. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything genuine about it. Risk getting slapped. I mean, it is what it is. You know, because there are black people like me who I'm not having it, and not because I'm an overly prejudiced person or someone filled with hate or any of those things, but I 100% am someone who believes in protecting and sustaining and maintaining our culture and our community. And that comes with any part of it.
Let me ask you a question, and this is to the audience as well. When I grew up, it was cracker, it was white bread, it was honky, all of those, which you barely hear those nowadays. Like, you barely hear them. Redneck, all that stuff. If you said that around someone who was of Caucasian descent, and they say, listen, you know, I'm not trailer park. Please don't say that around me. Would you respect that?
No.
That's a double standard. In my opinion, that's a double standard.
And I disagree.
But why?
Because our realities are completely different.
In what regard? If that person grew up in a trailer park and they...
No, I mean our actual reality socially in America.
Right, but I'm
completely different.
Okay, but listen, so let me ask you a question. If you had somebody, a black person, they grew up in the Hamptons, they never said the word, they never was around it, and you just happen to be around them, and you say, you know, nigga, you just being yourself, you say, yeah, my nigga, and they like, please don't say that.
Talking about a black person?
Yeah.
I've respected that.
Right, so why wouldn't you respect a white person that says, you know, you these crackers, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, please don't say that. Why wouldn't you respect that?
Because I could take it all the way down to their livelihood.
Right.
Reasonably. No. When I say their livelihood, let me be very clear about that.
Okay.
I could take it all the way down to the reason why the average white person's livelihood is better. Their social acceptance, and the way that they live and the way that they're accepted here is completely different than
Right,
the
but
average black person.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, what if that person didn't grow up with that reality?
Are they denouncing their reality? And that's why I say I could take it down to their livelihood.
No, if okay, so
Are they not accepting? And people can say whatever they want, but there is white. What the fuck do they call it? Not white power. White. The white acceptance, right? That they have
privilege.
White privilege. There you go. I was looking for the word. White privilege. That's their entire reality. For a majority of white people. And that doesn't mean that all of them are going to be millionaires and they're just thriving and that but a white person of lesser social status subjectively is typically better off than a black person of higher social status subjectively.
I mean, I knew people in the projects who were white and they had it hard.
For sure. But we're talking there's an exception to every rule, so I'm not going to argue the exception to the rule. I'm arguing the collective reality. The majority.
But what
and
about
that is the majority reality?
But there is a level of you had mentioned, you said that a person has to be mindful. There is a level of mindfulness if you're dealing with a person one-on-one. If I'm a white person and I grew up in the ghetto, literal ghetto, down the street from Tyrone, and I worked my way out the ghetto, and one of the things that I was called was a cracker, or I was called poor white trash. And as I've moved to another level, now I'm hearing that from somebody, especially somebody I respect, and I say, hey, please don't say that. That offends me. That's not who I am, and that just offends me. I wouldn't say the N-word around you. Just please don't say that around me. Would you not respect that?
That's a bridge that I'm willing to burn.
Wow. Okay. I'm a little different on it, man. I mean, like I said, if someone calls me a nigga out of anger, there's a likelihood I'm not going to do anything because I know what I can do. And if they followed up with it physically, then that's something different.
This is the thing. And this is why I said I'll take it all the way down to their livelihood. If you are so quick to say that I have nothing to do with that reality, then also ensure that you don't benefit from it in any form or fashion.
Yeah, but that's tough. I mean,
of course it's tough.
Just like you said, we still listen.
It's tough also on the flip side, us existing, just having to exist here.
Yeah, I mean it's listen, that
so
fight,
that and in a way that's two ends of the pendulum. It's balanced.
Listen, one of the things that I've learned,
but I'm willing to stand on
that fight. I don't think, especially in our lifetimes, that it's ever going to be won, and primarily because as a culture we're jacked up. Now it's quick to always look at institutionalized racism as a thing that's held us back, that doesn't give us opportunities, and yeah, okay, we know that. But at the same time, we as a culture have to start fighting to come together and stop doing the things that gets in our own way. So in essence, it's not like I'm pointing a finger like, oh, y'all ghetto, yeah, that's the reason why that's happening. No. One of the things that other cultures have, a lot of other cultures have, especially when they came from other countries here, is community. I don't think, ever had a community. We've never had it to where, I gave that analogy where when I was a kid, I never forget going into a Italian store, and the Italian man was telling me, he said, the reason why our culture gets along better, he said, because even if I don't like Johnny down the street, I'm going to send you, and if I don't have it here, I'm going to send you to his store. I'm going to keep that dollar in our community.
Right.
He said, black people don't do that. And I thought it was the biggest insult until I got older and I realized that. I'm like, yeah, he's right. We don't hold on to our dollars. I mean, we're talking about a culture of people who they're going and supporting a film about people who actually caused the Atlantic slave trade that was instrumental in it. And they're like, well, you got to support it irregardless. It's like, no, I don't. I know the power of my dollar.
Right.
You see? So that's just, I mean, I think we're just seeing things differently on that. Like, I just believe if somebody, first of all, more than likely for me to call someone a cracker or for me to call them white bread or something like that, I have no reason to. Like, I'm not going to stoop to anybody else's level. Like, if you feel like you want to call me a nigga and that makes you feel good, hopefully you take that to your grave tonight or you take it to sleep with you when you go to bed. But if you put your hands on me, we got a problem. If you feel like, okay, I'm gonna get in the truck and I'm gonna come and you're the one we're gonna get, well, I'm waiting on that. But the word, nah, I ain't. It's whatever. It doesn't. It's like water on the back of a duck. It does not affect me at all. If a man called me boy, now I'd have more of a problem with that than I would with him calling me nigga. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not a boy. I'm a man. And as a man, I will make sure you're going to give me that respect. There was a guy in a store going around doing a prank. I don't know if you saw that one, but he's in the store and he says, "Hand me that thing, boy." And the guys the response when they were looking at him like, "Boy." Like, yo, you joking, bro. You joking. He's like, "I said, hand me that thing, boy." And people thought it was funny. I didn't find it funny.
Definitely not funny.
Yeah, I didn't find that funny at all. I mean, because he used the word boy rather than the word nigga because he would have probably got hit. See, so that shows you the dynamic of that.
Boy, too.
Well,
because it was used in around about the same fashion.
Yeah, I mean, for me, in regards to the boy thing, I don't know. For me, it just hits different. Would I hit him for calling me boy? No, I wouldn't even hit him for calling me boy. I'd look at him like he's crazy and walk away. But I'm just different like that. That's all. If you're listening in, we need some people. Come on, give us your opinion. Let us know what you think. What's going on?
Go ahead and join in. Join the live, or you can also call in at 404-997-2188. That is 404-997-2188, and I will also pin the comments.
How do you feel about the word nigga? How do you feel about the word nigger? How do you feel about any of what we talked about in this past hour in regards to it? Would you slap somebody? You haul off and slap somebody? Would you keep retain your anger and just walk away, or would you correct that person? Take the time to correct them and say, "Don't say that." Do you feel that when people bought the hip hop tracks that they bought the right to the word to say it? Should they never say it? Should they be at the concert being concerned next to to Antonio when they're rapping along with Lil Weezy and say the word?
We got somebody looking to join in.
Okay.
And also, I got to run to use the bathroom real quick. But we got Lay the Muse. Let's go ahead and bring her in.
Yeah, Lay. What's your thoughts on this, Lay?
I'm about to run to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Is it coming up? Man, this should be taking that last one. There she is.
Hey, Lay. How you doing, Lay? He's running to the bathroom, so it's going to be me and you anchoring it down. What's your thoughts on this? You can be on until he comes back. Right. Mm-hmm.
So I basically I came to school one day, like just a regular day, and I'm like an AP student or whatever. Not that that really matters, but you know, we're like the only black kids. It was probably like it was me and like a halfer. Oh, and if y'all don't know what halfer means, that's a mixed kid.
Okay.
So
Did you say halfer? Like
yeah,
halfer?
half like you know like half.
Yep.
Like half. Like so it was me and a mixed kid, and we was all in the room, and I don't know, my mom might have said something to me that day, like she be saying stuff to me. So I was just walking in, and it was like a passing period. I had like walked in the door, and it was for this college app thing that we were doing, because you know we're applying to college apps and everything. So I was like, okay, like let's just get this over with because I was stressed out. I was really stressed out. And I had been hearing people say, you know, I had been hearing Asians, Mexicans, everybody has been saying nigga all day. All day. One of my friends that was in the class, she's Mexican. And she's like white Mexican, so conquistador. But we'll come back to that. So she's sitting and she says, oh, yeah, my nigga, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I just snapped. I just flew off the handle. I said, yo, don't say that again.
Right.
She was like, what, my nigga?
Oh.
I see.
Say that shit again. All right. I said, so how would you feel if I called you a beaner? Shut the fuck up. Everybody shut the fuck up. Because now I'm about to put on a show. And she
Yeah.
was like, yo, that's mad offensive. And, and I was like, so don't fucking say nigger or somebody hit you in your shit. Like, for real. And we never had a problem.
Stepping out.
So she respected your boundaries, but you were never at the point of like using that word beaner. You just use it as this is the stake.
I used it as an example
Mm-hmm.
of what I was saying.
Yes.
Because that's the only way these people understand.
Yes.
They only understand when you dumb it down all the way to the point and beaner or like anything. It has to be offensive. It has to. You have to. And I didn't mean to hurt her. This is my friend of many years. We have been friends since freshman year, and like she had just said it, and I was just like, I can't. Like I've been hearing this all day. I've been hearing this all day, and the one place I feel like I'm gonna be safe in the class where we're applying to college applications, and you said that, and I just wouldn't have felt
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. It triggered you. So let me ask you a question. Do you feel if, say, for instance, you both were in the car together and a rap song it was playing, and it's right and
I can feel the question coming. It's about to be a
well, I mean, if would you feel she would have the right to say the lyrics, or should she stop and not say it because you're sitting next to her?
listen, after I caught her ass slacking that day, she did not say that shit around me anymore, and she wouldn't have said it.
What about at a concert? Have you been to any concerts? And
Oh yeah, I've been to many concerts. None of my friends that are not of the Negro brown descent say it around me because they already know I will punch you in your shit right here.
okay, so are you on the other end of the spectrum where you respect them and it's since they can't say that, there are specific things you make sure you don't say out of respect.
I respect everybody.
Yes.
Straight up.
Yes.
I don't say anything. And also like it goes back to pronouns as well. Respecting people's pronouns. Like if a person wants to be called they, if a person wants to be called her, if
Mm-hmm.
a person wants to be called him. Like
Yeah. Right. Who cares? Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it goes back to very elementary, I guess, of like just respect the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah, you don't have time for the drama. And I mean, being that you're in the acting world, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you worked on any scenes where you've had to have that said at you in a period piece or anything?
Oh, yeah. And I was like 18, and I was like, they were like, oh, this is the scene. Da, da, da. You know, I got really excited. You know, it was like one of my first scenes because I didn't get into acting until I was about 18.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it, and I was like, y'all trying me or?
Yeah, so with that being said, because one of the other questions was, do you believe that black people can be racist?
I don't. I don't think we have the institution or the mobility or even the presence or the population or the leadership. Well, I could keep going.
Do you do you
At any time,
do
but I don't think we can.
do you know any black people who don't like a specific race of people or culture of people?
No,
Interesting. Interesting.
I don't.
Let me ask you a question. If you saw somebody treat a friend of yours with a certain disrespect in regards to their skin color, say for instance, have you ever seen anyone treat maybe an Asian friend or a Latin friend with racism or prejudice?
I mean, yeah, like, because we're all just people of color and black are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Figure that out. But we're all like minorities is the word I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for here. So yes, I've seen it, and people have defended themselves in those situations. But I was backing them up like 100%. But me, I don't need backup. I'm an army.
No doubt. Okay. All right. I mean, that's what the show's all about. We want to hear your opinions. We want to know. Okay. Thank you, Lay. Appreciate it.
Hi guys.
I don't know how to do that. I was about to say.
She
yeah,
did it for you. Yeah. So that was interesting.
I missed it.
You missed it, but it was very in depth. She basically talked about how the word triggered her one day, where she went to a school with a lot of different. Thank you so much. She went to school with a lot of different ethnicities, and it was a Latin friend saying my nigga, and she'd been hearing it all day, and then her saying it triggered her, and she was like, "Would you like it if somebody called you a beaner?" And she said everybody got quiet, and it kind of shut it down. So it is a thing of, there are things that hurt. Ethnic slurs hurt cultures. They hurt people, and I think with what we're talking about tonight in regards to that, there has to be a level of cognizance and being mindful of knowing that, the word hits people differently. It hits people differently. And I think we'll end it at that. You got anything else you want to add to it, or no?
No, I mean, I spoke my piece, man. I'm always willing to have a conversation, but at the point that a person persists, now I have to fully be myself.
Yeah, and it's funny because we're going to see so many more of these incidents that happen.
Oh, yeah.
like that, And like I said, it's not Trump's fault. Like, listen, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I don't have any affiliation to political parties. You're not going to hear us on Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking talking about that.
Who to vote for.
Not at all. Not at all. You will never hear me push my religious views on you because I don't do that either. That's not how it's done. In love and understanding is how we help people to have a different perspective. With that being said, for this last 30 minutes of the show, shout out to anybody that's going through the storm at the moment. We got some food here. Slim Chickens.
Go ahead and send us a sponsorship.
That's right. And if you want to donate or contribute to our show, help us keep the lights on, you can hit us up on our Linktree, Cash App, and or Venmo. Definitely, we'd appreciate it tremendously. Look at that. See, this is what happens when you got a good friend. They look out for you. They allow you to eat another day.
Straight up.
So that way you can make it, because every day ain't great, but if you got food in your belly,
best thing you could do is feed another person.
that's the best thing you can do, and eventually teach them that son of a bitch how to fish. All right. Oh, I don't know if we should go over what I was about to go over if you're about to eat.
What was it? Oh, no, look, I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, because it won't bother me. But this week, a lot of people have been talking about what's hot on...
Oh, man.
what's hot on Netflix. 'Cause, you know, I'm a big Facebook person. I'm on Facebook and Instagram all the time. So if you hit me up on either one of those, we can have a conversation. And I'm very big on commenting. I have a big opinion in regards to specific things. And so a lot of people have been watching the Netflix series of Dahmer, Jeffrey Dahmer. Thank you, brother. Jeffrey Dahmer. And so the show is called Monster.
Is it called Monster?
It's called Monster.
I thought it was just Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, it's called Monster. The Jeffrey Dahmer story. So it's called Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. I watched it. Shout out Daphne for hooking me up. But I watched it, all episodes. I found it interesting. I found it entertaining as a show. Very misleading in some parts in regards to the accuracy of it.
Yeah.
First off,
of course they dramatized it.
Yeah, and what I thought was odd was that, you know, I kept saying when I was looking at the act, I said, something's missing. Something's missing. Because, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer has a very distinct look.
Right.
And I kept saying, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then when I did a side-by-side comparison, Jeffrey Dahmer has blue eyes. And I said, that's what it was. Because I'm an eyes person, and I remember, you know, yeah, his eyes were dead, but the actor has brown eyes.
Right.
Whereas Jeffrey Dahmer had blue eyes. And I was like, that was it. Throughout the whole series, I kept asking, what is going on? And I'm wondering why the actor just didn't wear blue contacts. Because then his eyes would be very close. So it's stuff like that to me, you know, I was just like, ah. And then specific details like the character that she plays. I can't remember the actress's name.
Niecy Nash.
Niecy Nash.
Yeah.
She did a great job. Her character is an amalgamation of two characters. It's a combination of multiple characters.
Yeah. Almost all of his neighbors between two buildings. Yeah.
So make sure whenever you watch these shows that says based on a true story, you go and you look them up.
Look up the actual story because it is based. It just ain't actually the true story.
Not at all.
It's not a documentary.
Nope.
I watched about 3 episodes. I keep falling asleep because, you know, honestly don't think I'm going to finish it because I don't like seeing black men in compromising positions. And there's a lot of compromising going on in this show, you know, so I'm cool on that.
Yeah.
And I already know the story just from being a history buff, but
yeah.
Enjoy the show if you will.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other great black shows on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video. Even we have gentlemen like Dame Dash who have their own streaming services as well. I don't remember the name of his streaming service, but he has one with majority black films. So
yeah.
Don't only focus on this. There's
right.
other great black media out there to focus on. So
yeah, I'm bringing it up because everybody's talking about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's the conversation piece of the week. And it's not as scary as people make it out to be because a lot of people oh, it's so scary. It's like, it's not scary.
Well, we live in a very sensitive time.
Yeah, true. But you don't go into people's house and drink stuff either.
I don't. Yeah, man, listen, that first episode, number one, it felt like 3 hours. You know, I don't like sitting down watching long-ass anything. But that first episode was long as hell. Didn't he ask him what was in the cup? Because he seen it? And he still ended up drinking it? Or maybe he pretended, I don't fucking know, whatever. But the nigga sat there and drank that shit even after he seen the pill or whatever that was that the Dahmer put in that drink at his apartment. That was the first thing I said. Well, who the fuck does that?
Yeah. When it happened, I was in my 20s when the incident went down, and I took a very big interest in it because it was black guys. You know, it doesn't matter if they're gay or not. Black people being killed in this country.
Oh, I said I don't have no reason to really continue watching.
Yeah, it's very distressing, and you know, I mean, it was a big injustice done with a lot of this stuff. This guy was able to maneuver and do what he did, man, with impunity.
And, just forget what they call it. Man, I'm missing a lot of my vocabulary tonight. But there's a phrase, basically kind of plays to the All's Fair in Love and War. But it basically ended up being a very ironic ending to his life, which was a black man killed him in jail.
Yeah, slaughtered him.
Oh yeah, he didn't just kill him. He did his thing, so to speak. As it applies to murder. Went ahead and put him down because of everything that he did.
So, we talked about this before. Do you believe he was evil or he was just sick?
I mean, he was a sick motherfucker, man. His childhood and all of that, which I don't think that's always. Again, I don't believe that's an excuse, but it's definitely a reason. It contributed to what it is that he became, and in analyzing him, it doesn't help us not to include that in the analysis. I'm not going to call it an evaluation because I believe that's more so going into, looking to find a reason to accept or truly understand. There's no way you can understand where someone like that is coming from or be fully empathetic to. So, it's important to include his childhood in the analysis of who it was that he became. He was a very damaged person. He was definitely weird, for lack of a better term, but he just went out and did whatever it was that he was going to do based on the childhood that he had, as we all do.
Well, I believe he was demonically possessed. He worshipped Satan. He built several altars to Satan. And the odd thing about it is that when he got into prison, people may not feel that this was genuine, but he did get saved. So that's controversy. I want to hear people's opinions about that. What do you think? You think he was evil? You think he was just sick? You think he was demonically possessed? I mean, if you've watched the show, what's your opinions of it? If you didn't watch it, are you not going to watch it because of a certain reason? Let us know. Let us know. Another one is, I want to talk about this too. Another show was this. I ended up watching this.
Is it one that I've seen? Come on.
I don't know. We're going to talk about this. Now, we can't really talk too much about it because I know that many may have not seen it and I don't want to spoil it. But this movie here, did you see this?
I ain't watching no movies. Nope. Is this a Tyler Perry movie?
Yeah, it's a Tyler Perry film.
I heard somebody talk about this, and they were talking about the weird characters or whatever that were in there.
Okay, so listen. This is the thing about we're talking about the Jasmine's Blues. Okay.
Is this an interracial couple?
No, actually,
she's black.
She's black.
Okay.
Now the thing is when I watched that movie, because I watched it, right? I just like to be informed sometimes.
Yeah.
I am not a Tyler Perry fan by any means.
I'm not gonna watch it for that reason. Respect to him and what he's created.
Right? Yeah. God bless him. He paid. I ain't. So.
He got the studio. He's able to give more black people an opportunity to to perform in the industry. But I'm not watching none of that nigga's movies.
No support. But anyway, I did watch this one, obviously, because I didn't have to pay and it was on Netflix. So I watched it, and it's actually a better made film. I'm not going to say well made because it's not well made. Better than all the other stuff he's done. Yeah.
In comparison to everything else in his catalog.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you know me. I'm going to point out the truth and the problems. Now, when you look at this film, you are going to see that there are no black men with any upstanding qualities, as most of the time with all his films.
Reason enough for me not to watch it.
There is an abusive husband who abuses his wife and abuses his son. There is abusive grandfather, which I was just like, wow, who sexually molests his granddaughter. Then there's an abusive brother who ends up being a heroin addict and ends up being pretty much Cain to Abel. And these are all the black men.
Yeah, I was gonna say, these are all black people
These are all
killing
black
each
men.
other
These are
and-
black men in particular.
Having all of these different qualities or whatever.
And then the lead, people are saying there's nothing in the movie that says that the lead is slow, that the character, that he's slow. Because if he was slow, he wouldn't have went to the military. He actually goes to the army. And,
Well, you ain't been in the military, but let me tell you now.
right, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, nah.
You know, he goes to the military, but he's weak, he's downtrodden, he's abused by his father and brother. He's a simp of the highest regard
Of course.
and does unthinkable things. So that's Tyler's thought process of black men, in my opinion.
It always is. That sounds like any of his other movies.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
There
what
was
he
no
does.
evil dark-skinned black dude.
Oh yeah. Well, this time it was the light skinned guy, believe it or not. But the father was evil and black, dark skinned.
Well, there you go.
No bad wigs, thank God. And that's why I said a better made film in that regards.
And some bit of relief. This has some positive qualities to it. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, I can't talk about the movie because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But
Okay.
when you watch the film, if you are a film author or somebody who's watched other movies, you will see pretty much at least 6 or 7 other films in that movie.
Oh, as far as tropes?
No, literal films that he, kind of like referred to. Color Purple, Imitation of Life, Titanic.
So
the
Easter
Notebook.
eggs or like actual like nearly reenactments or he's giving an ode to or...
He just couldn't make nothing original.
Okay.
So I would be on your side of the fence if it was one of those things. You know what I mean? Like tropes or Easter eggs. Or it wasn't even tropes. It was like, okay, this is a direct Lady Sings the Blues. I mean, every one of those movies he pulled something from. And you can tell it's all his favorite films that he threw into this.
I'm not watching it.
Raggedy.
What is that, Jasmine's Blues?
Yeah, Jasmine's Blues.
Yep.
Jasmine's Blues.
It's on Netflix if you want to watch it. You know me at this point. I'm definitely not going to do that, but please enjoy.
What's the big deal, bro?
The big deal with
What's the big deal with what?
Tyler Perry?
King Jamaica? Is it with the film or with Tyler Perry himself?
If the question is Tyler Perry, we'll talk about it.
If the question is the pointing out of what I'm doing, like I'm pointing out how his films never. Well, somebody threw at me on Facebook. They said, "Well, what about Daddy's Little Girl and some other film?" I was like, "How many films and television shows has he made?" And you just named 2.
We're talking about years. 2000, what was it, 2003, 2002?
I mean, he
When
was
his
on
plays
stage.
started getting traction?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That's when I remember the
Maybe a little
DVDs.
sooner.
You know, we had to burn
Bootleg.
DVDs circulating and all of that.
Oh, you say he's late, catch him up to speed. So we
Okay.
yeah, we were talking about, there's a movie called A Jasmine's Blues. It's on Netflix. We're not going to spoil it, you know, if you want to watch it. But all of the black men, all of the black men in the film are horrible. None of them have
Their
any-
character.
Their character. None of them. Oh, even his brother. His brother has a friend that comes to see him. He's janky too. And it's just a guy who has like a couple of lines in the scene, and he says, "Hey, I want you." I can't divulge it, but anyway,
Yeah.
the guy pretty much tells him, I ain't shit. So why would you even? He tells him it's like, okay, that he ain't shit, and it's like all the black male characters in that movie are trash.
Yeah.
And they all cause, once again, as always, they cause women so much damn drama. So much damn drama. There's no redeeming qualities in any other black man.
Any white saviors in the movie?
Yeah, there is.
Of course, there always is.
Yeah, white saviors, of course.
I'm not watching it.
There's one, pretty much, because he had with the racism in it. But they're stereotypical races, so whatever that is. So yeah, King Jamaica, that's what it is. If you like, but it's weird. I think the reason why I'm bringing it up is because over and over and over again, when you hear black people say that was good, I'm like, how do you overlook that though? How do you overlook that film after film after film after film that comes out shows black men in this horrible light, just like it was when Michael Ealy dropped the babies in For Color Girls, a scene that never existed in the play. He wrote that in. It never, yeah. Oh, so you did see it. So do you agree with me in what I'm saying about all of the black male characters? None of them have anything redeeming. Like even there's a part where the granddad, I can talk about this because it's not a plot point.
Yeah.
But the granddad, he's on a because something happens, but the girl's leaving and the granddad said, "I told you she wasn't shit."
Come on, man.
He literally laughed like that, and I was like, "What is that? What's going?" Like, there was nothing redeeming about the granddad at all. At all. So none of the but that laugh, it was like he sounded like the Emperor from Star Wars.
Dude, I refuse to watch any of the shit that just like fully depicts black people in negative lights. No love, no positivity at all. I'm not watching that shit, man. That's the same as watching, black people get beaten and castrated.
Yeah.
And all. I'm not doing none of that shit.
Yeah, we call it black trauma. That's what it is.
I refuse to watch it.
And it's like, this is the thing. You don't need black trauma to have great drama.
No, you don't.
You can have drama, and I've done it as a film director. You can have drama without having the trauma. Because drama is conflict. And there's different levels of conflict. You don't have to throw it all up there. Rape, molestation, abuse.
When it comes to black film, yes, you do.
That's sad.
According to the Hollywood, I suppose.
Right. So, King Jamaica said, "I feel it could have been shot better. You should have been one of the acting coaches." Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely would have took them through the trenches, man, because, I think the only way we as a community, black people, are going to start to grow to another level is it starts with the media. It really does. It starts.
Anything that you consume, anything that you consume is a part of who you are and what you are. And when we're talking about the consumption of different, different forms of media, when all we're seeing is black people acting up, on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, all they doing is dancing and fighting and cussing at each other and complaining and arguing, black men between women and, all of these different things.
Constant contention.
It becomes a part of who and what we are. And that's all we see. When do we get to see black doctors, congregating and fellowshipping? Seeing black investors come together and hold conventions, and we don't get to see a lot of any of that. Not in mass media. Yeah.
What's going on your side of the world, Antonio?
A few people. Oh man, look, I'm on Instagram Live, and I'm waiting on comments. We've already had one person go ahead and call in. Feel free to join in.
Yeah, don't mind us eating, but I'm telling you, it's good stuff. It's really good.
Waiting on the Slim Chicken sponsor for sure.
If you know anybody, let them know. Slim Chicken.
But yeah, so yeah, I just man, I refuse to watch any of that shit. It's not beneficial to my spirit, you know, and it's not gonna be beneficial for me to take in all of that and then go and interact with other black people. You know, my brothers and sisters. What am I giving them?
Right.
I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they look at me as like it was too much going on. Yeah, it was. King Jamaica said it was too much going on. Blessings from London, UK. Hey, blessings to you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ivan More Profound. Welcome to Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. Hey, Ivan, have you seen A Jasmine's Blues? Is it available over there now? And is it something that you would watch or no?
Oh, Netflix UK?
Yeah. Honestly, I was confused about the film. Yeah, you know, the ending is very confusing. Like I said, we can't really talk too much about it because we don't want to spoil it. But I think really what confuses most people is the character motivations. So it's like, why are they doing the things that they're doing? You know, he tends to always do that. It's like, okay, somebody will just go from A to D, and you don't know what happened from B to C, and how long it's been going on, and that's what is a sign of bad writing is because there's no depth.
There's no actual building to the
At
what do
all.
they call it, character building.
Yeah, character building. There's no character building. It's like, all right, she's abused by him. Well, why? Well, we don't care. We don't know. It just
Develops into whatever.
This is the motivation for her to get up and get out of here. You know. So yeah, I can understand that confusion. I mean, I've talked to several people today on Facebook, and they said the same thing. You know, it's usually split. Tyler Perry movies usually split people down the middle. It's those who understand the agenda that he has, because he does not like black men.
It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's not even a question.
At all.
We're talking, you know, and no disrespect to him, but we're talking about a guy.
He's a billionaire, so, you know, to them.
Yeah, whatever. But man, he's been dressing up as a black woman and making black women look like absolute fools. And the same token that he's a black man dressing up as a woman to begin with. So he's disrespecting both sides or you know, of our community. And it's just widely accepted. For what reason? He clearly does not respect either sex, man.
Yeah. But I think he really has it out more for
oh no, for sure.
Yeah, for the black man.
Sure.
Because the two patriarchs in this film, the father on one side of the family and then the grandfather, that grandfather scene was, oh God. Did you see that? That I need to check this out. My friend was telling me about this. Yeah, you know, when you watch this stuff, you have to be very, very mindful of the agendas that certain filmmakers have. And he really, it's like there's so many other things you could use as motivations for those characters. So many other things, you know.
He doesn't really go off tropes, man. He's using really his own. That's why I was asking about that earlier, because I would have been surprised. But he 100% just kind of goes off stereotype, and that's not really a trope. That doesn't come in many different forms, you know. You can't build all of your characters 100% on stereotypes. Well, I guess you can, apparently. But why for us that way? Why for us that way?
Yeah. It's cheap. It's horrible. Yeah, I was just shaking my head. I mean, there's one Cotton Club. He stole from the Cotton Club. He stole from like maybe 7 or 8 films. Because, you know, as a filmmaker, I've seen those films, so I recognize the moments. So I was like, that's directly from Imitation of Life. That's directly from, you know, all these films that I have seen throughout the years. So, okay. We are winding down. We have 9 minutes left.
Got about 9 minutes, guys.
If you have something to add to the conversation, please join in. If not, we're just going to keep going. Looking for what else is in pop culture, the news. We've done our movie segment. Let's go to the news.
Let's see. So I know I got Reddit. What happened with there was a follow-up on was that
the Nia Long scandal?
Yeah, her response
Oh, so Nia Long had a response.
They said that she addressed it. I don't know. Let me see if I can get that up. I think I watched it on Pink Book Lessons. She always documents things pretty well.
Yeah, shout out to Pink Book Lessons, man. If you haven't went to subscribe to her as well as subscribe to us, she's somebody that's really doing a great job with keeping the Black community updated on things and holding each other accountable, man. That's what I really love about it. And she doesn't play favoritism at all. She does not play favoritism at all. She's on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica said, how do you, oh yeah, you missed that. We talked about that, the Dama film. I've seen his real documentary. Yeah, the real documentary.
There's a few documentaries.
Yeah. The real documentary goes into full detail about it. Like, in one of the scenes where the black guy's handcuffed, in real life, he was actually a straight male. And to this day, he got into a lot of trouble after all of that. He never dealt with the trauma correctly. And so he wasn't actually gay. He didn't meet him at a gay club. He met him on the street with his friends.
Yeah.
And so when he had went and got on the stand, he admitted that he was straight. He's like, I'm a straight man. Like, the guy offered me $100 to do pictures. And see, and that's another thing,
That's
but look, man, you have to be careful with that kind of stuff. Even if you don't indulge in that lifestyle, somebody want to, pay you that money for nude photos.
That's insane, dude. I'm about to go take these weird ass pictures
at this guy's house, and so that was one of the main inconsistencies, but they made it where, they met at a club. It never happened.
Yeah, there's no way I would have did that shit. Not that way. So the response, for anybody who was keeping up with the Udoka and Nia Long scandal, she finally responded in saying that the outpouring of love and support from family, friends, and the community during this difficult time means so much to me. Long said in a statement to the outlet, she added, I ask that my privacy be respected as I process the recent events. Above all, I am a mother and will continue to focus on my children. What do you think about that?
Smart response. She didn't shoot nobody down.
Yeah.
She kept it very
concise and private.
And diplomatic. She's going to get a lot of work. She's back in the news.
Apparently, Udoka, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I don't watch basketball or any sports for that matter. But Udoka also issued a statement yesterday asking for privacy during this time. I want to apologize to our players, fans, the entire Celtics organization, and my family for letting them down. I'm sorry for putting the team in this difficult situation, and I accept the team's decision. Out of respect for everyone involved, I will have no further comment, he said.
Yeah, just let it die. But, the problem becomes this. Again, as accountability.
I'm about to bring it back. So Pink Book Lessons talked about that.
Yeah, he's got so much being thrown at him, but not the other woman that was involved.
They're keeping her anonymous.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. They're keeping her anonymous. I forget the exact the exact verbiage on the reasoning, but it's basically because they don't want to expose her, get her any backlash of any sort and all of these things. Where was the same grace afforded to the other half that was involved?
Yeah.
Because it took two.
Yeah, of course.
He wasn't doing it by himself.
And they both knew the policy.
And it was 100% consensual.
Wow.
According to those two.
Yeah, of course.
So that's crazy.
Doesn't pay to be a man nowadays, does it?
It hasn't paid to be a man, since really the 80s. 70s and 80s for the most part. Just at the turn of, going 30 years into the turn of the century, we're looking at media becoming what it is now, as easily accessible as the living rooms of all the citizens were through television.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That sort of programming began well before that, but being able to up pace it, and send it out faster. And get it, really getting into people's minds. I mean, look at even how technology has evolved over the last 20 years in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, so in the same breath, why I mentioned that is it's look at what we're doing now. You know, having to discuss this.
Yeah. Yeah. And mind you, we're discussing it not out of gossip, but just to keep the Black community informed on stuff like this, because this is a sign of what's to come.
100%.
It is a sign of what's to come. And you have to be very careful about your day-to-day activities nowadays, you know?
But listen, guys, we got about 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's time for us to end,
plug.
so we can go ahead and we can talk about our show.
So let me see. If you enjoyed the show, change your mind, change your thinking, we can be reached. Instagram, our handle is CMCT_show. On Facebook, the page is CMCT Show. On YouTube, we can be found at also CMCT_show. We also have a Twitter, which would be CMCT_show. Our email is cmctshow@gmail.com. Please send us suggestions on subjects, topics, any scandals or anything that you would like to see in the show as well. We also have a TikTok. Getting on that eventually, but CMCT_show. Linktree. At the Linktree website, you can go ahead and search CMCT_show and co-host social media, Troy Skinner at DARKAN2000. That's Darkon 2000. Again, at DARKAN2000. His Twitter also is at DARKANENT. Darkan ENT. My Instagram is just at _dosage THE_DOSAGE.
Make sure you plug that shirt.
Oh yeah, you know what? I did wear this for a reason today.
Antonio wears the best shirts. Like, we're gonna have shirts pretty soon for CMCT, but he's been plugging these shirts for the last couple of weeks, and it's a. Is it
This is an album cover.
It's an album cover.
Yeah.
Is it mixtape, or is it going to be just a full album?
It's like an LP.
LP,
really, because we got a much bigger project coming, and I also have my own solo project coming.
Shout out to Remo.
Remo Chains on Instagram, REMOCHINZ.
Remo, you owe me a call. I just got to hear your voice and know you well.
Yeah, you know he out there, man. He'll be back pretty soon too. So, but yeah, no. So our album, I don't even. We're self-titled on this album, actually. It's just Mania Asylum. MAINEYASYLUM. And I believe we'll be releasing it sometime October.
Looking forward to it.
Music video as well.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, mine just cut it off. So, all right, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you please click like, subscribe, and follow us, okay? Please. All of our shows are being listed on YouTube, so if you missed tonight's topic or any part of tonight, you can catch it on YouTube soon. And we are looking forward to moving into bigger and better things.
I agree.
Yeah. So with that being said,
I'm ready this time. I got the
You're
song.
always ready. It's just the stuff isn't ready.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
All right.
Everybody have a good night. You know, thank you for tuning in. See you Tuesday night.
God
All right,
bless.
everybody. Have a good night. Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm and fat. I've been on the grind so long, hoes could never call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. I'm your mechanic. I don't want no parts of whack. Keep throwing darts and wax. I'ma melt you. Every beat got a birthday. I just make it special.